What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of Getting Buzzed. I am Howard Bender. With me, that's right, he is Ryan Hallam. He is the master of all things brackets on the interwebs. We'll talk about that a little bit. Ryan, how are you, man? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Another holiday weekend, 4th of July coming up. I don't know what it's like in California, but it's going to be another rainy one like it was on Memorial Day. But damn, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be fun. Get out, get together, have some good times. And, of course, always good sports on the 4th of July weekend, too.
Always good sports on 4th of July weekend. I, too, I will be going out this weekend for dinner. I think it's the first time I've actually gone out to dinner since, all the whole pandemic and the close down. I think that's really the last time I was at a dinner was in between lockdowns in my area. But now, whatever. So, yeah, happy 4th of July to everybody. Your own kind of Independence Day, so to speak.
That's
right?
very true. Are you a fireworks guy, Howard? Or I'm not really a fireworks guy. I've seen one. I've seen them all. I'm 43 years old. I'm kind of over them. What about you?
If I can just make it to the big finale, then I'm good. I grew up in New York City and, and having the Macy's fireworks there, the Garucci's, that family just doing that every single year. It was always, we definitely dug it. It was a great time. Always great to find somebody's apartment to see who's got the better view. And so, I like them in that sense. Since I've been out in California, I hate fireworks because fireworks mean I spend the whole night just kind of holding at least one of my dogs who is completely bonkers about the whole thing.
So one year I went to Niagara Falls for a wedding on the 4th of July, and you think Niagara Falls, these are going to be the best fireworks you ever saw. Worst fireworks I ever saw in my life was at Niagara Falls. It was just like...
They didn't want to show up the waterfall, I guess.
I don't know. It was like one at a time for like 45 minutes. They got stuck in a parking garage for longer than that afterwards. It was the worst fireworks. So Niagara Falls, don't go there this weekend in case anyone's watching and planning.
Wow. Unless you're honeymooning, then you just stay in your room.
Then
although you might as well just go
fireworks.
to the Poconos then and go to make your own fireworks. Look at you. I see what you did there. Well, folks, we got a great show for you today. Today's guest is none other than the SFB Scott Fishbowl. Why are you wearing another Scott Fish shirt? I figured you would maybe do laundry or something like that and not wear a fishbowl shirt because I was wearing a fishbowl shirt. You wore that? Did you wear that last week?
No, I wore one of the 10s. Did I wear the Transformers one last week? I don't know. I just got this in the mail a couple days ago, so I just washed it and put it. This is the first time I've worn it, actually.
You do the old, I gotta wash it before I put it on?
Yeah. I mean, RotoWear is a great company, and I trust them and all, but yeah, I'm going to wash it before I put it on.
Maybe I should have. No.
Too late now.
It just looks so nice. Yeah, too late now.
I almost got that one. I only got one so far. This is the only one I got, but I think I'm going to get that one too. I'm a big AC/DC fan, so that's I'll probably need
I purchase the entire fall line every year when it comes out. I got to do it, right? I mean, it goes to charity, right? Which is always big. The shirts are great, and when I order in bulk like that, it just saves me time on laundry.
I got to stop being such a cheap ass. So you're right. It is charity. It's a great thing. It's a tournament I love doing, and I'm not sure if I can. I know this was a pre-order. I'm not sure if they're even available right now, but I'll look. I do. Stop being cheap.
You know what? What you would have spent on detergent for laundry, kick that in towards your I need a new T-shirt fund.
You're right.
I love it. It's always great. My wife's like, "Did you get another shirt? Where did that come?" Right. So some of the times I lie to her. I'm like, "Oh, they just sent it to me because I'm a big shot in the fantasy. I'm Howard Bender. I'm the RotoBuzz guy, hon. They just send it to me because they want me to wear it on their live streams."
Does that work? Because you have 50,000 Twitter followers. You're on radio 5 days a week. You have an award-winning podcast. I mean,
it works with her unless she's watching right now. But I mean, it works with her. She's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
I'm guessing she's not watching right now.
She probably not. She might be able to catch it on the video, right? Just go over to the fantasyalarm.com YouTube page, and you too can find all the past episodes of Getting Buzzed.
Also,
I think only one is missing from there.
Because it really wasn't. I guess I understand. So who's ever cutting and does like the Twitter clips, don't cut the clip of us saying that Howard really is buying these shirts, because Deb is on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Little note to our editing department here at Fantasy Alarm. Oh man. So listen up, folks. Just so you also, I got to give this draft guide plug. Aside, Ryan, your Superflex article was fantastic, and then the appearance on the Ante Up podcast with me earlier in the week. We talked Superflex. We got a nice little bet going here. That's that. You know what? I haven't even thought about what we're gonna bet. So before I even get to what's in the news, why don't we talk about this a little bit here?
All
because
right.
So Sam Darnold versus Tua, fantasy points. Do we agree on PPR or standard?
I wanted to go PPR. You said standard. I don't think we've come to that agreement just yet.
All right. Well, we might have to just settle out for half point and just meet in the middle.
Meet in the middle. There you go.
Half point PPR. There's some people out there. They're like, dude, it's quarterback. You know, it doesn't count. Doesn't matter. We know.
And there's probably someone who's been hitting the weed that's like, man, they should do this PPR. Nobody plays standard anymore.
Why does it have to be somebody hitting the weed?
I mean, in your right mind, you wouldn't be.
Dude,
I guess they could be hitting the bottle too. Whatever.
Think about the guys getting schnockered on like 9% double barrel, IPAs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Again, that episode not available anymore.
It's probably for the best.
But like, come on, why does it have to be the guy with the weed? The guy with the weed, he just doesn't remember when the draft is. And he actually just genuinely doesn't remember in like the third round whether the draft is PPR or standard. He did take Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce for his first two picks, though.
In a fishbowl, that's a winning combination.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not going to get to me at 10.
No. But back to the draft guide.
Go back to the draft guide. I just wanted to plug it. I just want to be like, hey, fantasyalarm.com/draft guide. No. They're like 65 of these things that are just sitting out there.
This episode will also not be available.
Oh yeah, probably not. Probably not. Can we edit that out, please? Can we edit Bender out right now, please? No. Here's the deal. Fantasyalarm.com/draft now. Promo code draft now. That gets you the draft guide and the ultimate cheat sheet and all our rankings and stuff like that. But I would suggest possibly getting both the seasonal and the DFS. If you get the DFS Pro, go to dfsalarm.com/ I think it might be NFL. I don't know. You know what? The best part is that when this goes into editing, Matt Sells, our illustrious editor, can just type the actual link that it's supposed to be and put like blinking arrows under it, being like,
hey, dummy,
this is the league. Don't listen. Look with your eyes.
We also, and I don't know the details, but I should, have a 4th of July sale going this weekend that I believe starts tomorrow. So all of this is irrelevant that we've been doing so far. I've seen the banners, but I have to be honest that I'm not sure what the deal is.
All right. Well, then here you go. So we'll have this into editing right now. When I say 1, 2, 3, then we're going to put up a card for the 4th of July thing. It's gonna say what the whole thing is, gonna tell you what the URL is, where to go, what the discount is, happy 4th of July, promo code firework, who the hell knows, whatever it is. But on the count of 3, that's what's gonna be up on the screen, and we're gonna hold it for like 3 seconds. All right, so here it comes. 1, 2, 3. And we're back. Here we go. So now you guys know what our 4th of July promo is for this weekend. Good luck. So Ryan, let's get into what's the news here today. Again, folks, in a little bit, Gary Haddow I don't. Did we started to talk about him a little bit, wondering what shirt he was going to wear. SFB9 champion. This dude's won this thing, so he's going to join us here, and we're going to talk about a whole mess of things. Now, in the news right now, really, I'm getting depressed, like scrolling through Twitter because everybody's got jokes, the same joke over and over again. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. If I have to see that, I mean, we're gonna see that joke used till the day we die.
I mean,
I'm sorry, till the day Bobby dies.
But then even then, it's got to be almost over.
I have no idea.
I saw that first the other day. It was like Happy Bobby Bonilla Eve, and I was like, oh, is this really? Is it Mets fans that just hold on to this, or is like everybody know? Like, I think this is like the dumbest thing ever that we still talk about this every single year. The guy pulled a great deal to get paid basically for the rest of his life. The Mets did something stupid, especially considering the little production he actually gave them. But yeah, that's we always say the bad things about social media. Bobby Bonilla Day is a bad thing about social media because if there was no Twitter, I would never know that it passes every year.
No, me neither. I was like today. I was like, oh, okay, is that July 1st? And I've seen it every single year. I never note the date.
No,
I just so happen to be writing something, and like I was like, oh, it's July 1st. Oh yeah, Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. So yeah, I'm a little aggravated by that, but whatever. I mean, I just wanted to sometimes these are just for me. It's like I say to my wife, at the social agenda at the end of the evening. Sometimes these are just for me. Sometimes I just have to vent. Sometimes I just have to bitch. And Bobby Bonilla Day, the fact that like it's like everybody throws down about it, it just drives me nuts. Drives me absolutely nuts. All right, let's talk about. Are you a basketball guy at all?
I used to be. I fell off when it was like LeBron in the finals every year against the Warriors for like 5 years in a row. I lost all interest. I'm trying to get back into it. I'm paying a little bit of attention, mostly because of the Fanjection stuff that I just root for short series. But yeah, so I'm
sweep them. Damn it, sweep them.
Dude.
The original Suns in 4 guy right here, Ryan Hallam.
So I'm aware of what's going on, but I've really been paying. I look at the final score and see how many games are left.
All right.
That's as honest as it gets.
Listen, injuries are ravaging them anyway, so it gets to the point now where it's like no Kawhi and no Trae Young and no Giannis at this point. Like these guys are sitting out now, and it's coming out gross. That's actually just something I wanted to comment on, so it sounded like I was talking about sports and not bitching about something else. But you know what? I heard that the Suns actually gave tickets to the finals to the Suns in 4 guy.
Oh, nice. It's Kawhi sitting anyway because they're done. So I mean, he's completely finished.
No, like why? All right, so fighting at arenas. I think I've gone on a rant about this before.
We did.
Okay. How is it that the Suns are going to reward this guy with tickets to the NBA Finals? Because what? Because he was obviously going after. There was a scrum going on, and then the other dude went to like go and sucker punch him, and then Suns in 4 guy just totally effed him up. Right.
Well, I think
why are we celebrating this?
From what it seemed from the video, and I didn't. Obviously, there's always more behind the story, but it looked like those guys like kind of approached him because when the fight was over, like they left and he was still in his seat. So maybe he didn't provoke it. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he did. But I guess the Suns figure can't hurt to have an ass kicker in the house.
Anything that comes to blows at an arena, both parties are at fault. I mean, unless that Suns in 4 dude got jumped for no reason, but something tells me that there was probably a lot of chatter going on throughout the game.
Yeah, you don't see, Nuggets. I think it was against the Nuggets, right? Nuggets fans don't have like the reputation of like fighting people. They're not like Philly fans. Like if it was in Philly, you could say, okay, they went after him because he was wearing visitor stuff in their uniform, in their
right.
building.
That's something that you would say. I think that we're glorifying fighting in sports, and it's just been an issue, and to sit there and like for people to celebrate it, Etsy shirts everywhere popping up with this stupid guy. Not to mention the fact that I mean the video's viral, and they're treating him like a hero.
Yeah.
And we don't know the entire story here, and your reward. I mean, that's a pretty substantial award, right? If I got into a fight in the stadium, and my punishment for that was what? Oh, tickets to the NBA Finals.
That's pretty sweet. I guess it's the internet runs the world, so like anything that happens on the internet that gets attention, like it's a good thing now. It doesn't matter how bad it is. So yeah, I think this is a commentary on society and the internet right now more than anything else.
It's bugging the crap out of me. It really is. And I mean, listen, I watched the video and him being like, yo, I'm gonna fuck up your boy right now, right? I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna take away the entertainment aspect of that, right? But I do know probably what the whole story was, because I'm a 50-year-old man and I've like had my fair share of being an asshole at the age of 20, right? I mean, I wasn't like out there starting fights, but when I was 20, could I be goaded into one? Yeah, probably. So I mean, yeah, again, it's my commentary. I mean, it's either talking about that or the Stanley Cup. Do you even know that the Stanley Cup is going on?
Again, if I didn't work here, I would have no idea. I know the Lightning are up 2 games. I'm rooting for them in 4. I know they won last year. That's about it. I think I know their goaltender and 1 player, and that's really it. So no, I don't think anyone. Again, I think we talked about this last week. I don't think hockey cares. They just want their hardcore people, and they're not looking to get the stragglers. They want their fans, hope they pass it down from generation to generation. And the mainstream fan, I don't think they're interested.
If I can get one person to watch the rest of the Stanley Cup games, who's not normally a hockey fan, but can like tweet me a photo of them watching at least just part of the game. Honestly, I might give shit away for free at Fantasy Alarm.
I'll watch it tomorrow then. Honestly, playoff hockey on TV isn't that bad. Like, I have watched it before in the past. It is pretty exciting. I don't know why it's more exciting than regular season hockey, but I used to watch the playoffs from time to time when I was younger and I had nothing else to do.
Yeah, not really the ringing endorsement the NHL needs.
I mean, that's as good as it gets.
One last thing I want to get to, ladies and gentlemen, the next big fantasy thing. It's a side project I'm working on. Follow at Next Big Fantasy 1. And we've got the whole announcement there for the contest, submitting videos, and there's just, some changes took place over there. That we made an announcement about, and listen. So if you thought about the Next Big Fantasy thing and had any reservations, or maybe you're really into it, whatever, just go and check it out at Next Big Fantasy on the old Twitter machine. Top 10 list. Top 10. You never cease to amaze me. I mean, I guess you're captain brackets, so the fact that you're so willing and able to come up with clever top 10s on the regular basis, I give it to you. Ryan, what's our top 10? Oh, you know what? I think we've got like a little intro for this. So, I think, Ryan, it's time for the Getting Buzzed Top 10. All right, Ryan, what is it? Come on. Where you go? Oh, you're giving it away right now. Look at you. Look at you.
Since it is the 4th of July this weekend.
Well, you know what? You got a little Belushi in you right now.
How so?
Your face, you've
really?
got like a little Belushi, like a John Belushi-esque kind of thing, like when he was young. Like Animal House John Belushi, not like, dead John Belushi.
Yeah. With it being the 4th of July, as we already said, it's America's birthday. What's more American than Uncle Sam? So we went with the top 10 uncles of all time.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Where's Uncle Sam? What do you think Uncle Sam is on this list?
I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. Why don't you kick us off?
I'll kick you off with number 10 from one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, Bo and Luke Duke had theirself what? Uncle Jesse. Who didn't love Uncle Jesse? He was cuddly, he was lovable, he wore overalls, big gray beard, kind of looked like redneck Santa if you were in the 70s right there. So Uncle Jesse, number 10 on the list. Gotta love him.
Which also, by the way, is in my TV theme song bracket right now, going against Friends. So the Dukes of Hazzard. So I don't know if it'll drop in time for people to get to vote, but that is a second round matchup. So Uncle Jesse, the patriarch, even though he was an uncle, kind of the Duke clan, certainly a very worthy uncle.
Yeah, indeed. Is WKRP still in it?
WKRP won the first round. Yep, still in it. Welcome
All right,
back,
number
Cotter.
9. Who doesn't make better rice than Uncle Ben?
Uncle Ben is a good one. Now it's a double Uncle Ben, because not only is it great rice, it's also Spider-Man's uncle, Uncle Ben.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, Uncle Ben.
So we have a double Uncle Ben there.
Self-righteous son of a bitch got himself killed. That's what it was. All right. Oh, number 8. Number 8's a favorite of mine. I don't. This probably could tell you a lot about things that I've blocked out, maybe from my childhood.
Oh, I hope not.
Me too, but I don't know why this is the first one I came up with here, but I was like, ooh, Uncle Ernie from The Who. Oh, man. Uncle Ernie from the rock opera Tommy. That's not the uncle you want to leave your kids with.
No, that is an uncle who would be in prison in 2021 for lots of different reasons. Poor Tommy, unable to see or talk or tell anyone what mean old Uncle Ernie was doing to him. Ugh.
You didn't play the secret touch me feel me game with your uncle?
No, thankfully no.
No?
I played some pinball with him, but definitely not the see me touch me feel me. That was a no-go.
Do you want me to show you on the doll where it happened?
Please do.
No, I don't want.
Number 7, we're going to 90s TV. God, this could not be more of a just 180 from Uncle Ernie. Is good old Uncle Jesse from Full House. John Stamos, the good old wholesome show. Hit with Aunt Becky and paying for her child to go to college. But Uncle Jesse is still squeaky clean. And Full House, wildly popular in the 90s, and the heartthrob of the show, because the other uncle was just a goofball. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but
Joey?
Uncle Joey, that's right. Was it Joey?
Yeah, there was Joey and Danny and Jesse.
Yeah, so Uncle Jesse definitely gets the over Dave Coulier. That's what that Alanis Morissette that song was after him.
That's I love that urban legend right there. That it is about him. It's never been proven.
I hope not, because I can't believe that Dave Coulier could inspire that out of Alanis Morissette.
I'll tell you what. If Dave Coulier could inspire that out of Alanis Morissette, I have to tell you, Dave Coulier becomes my spirit animal.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Because that is, it's a great song.
It is.
It's raw emotion.
It is.
Right? There's anger. There's a lot of anger in there. Right? So, to know that, really, is Uncle Joey that kind of an ass? Like, that whole thing. And then Alanis, pretty darn good looking lady.
I was just going to say, if he could even land Alanis, I'd be proud of him. Never mind making that song after him.
Right. Cut it out.
I can't believe she would fall for that, right?
Me neither. Yeah, right? Is that that's his go-to move too?
I hope not.
Uncle Jesse, though, is where we're going. We didn't go Uncle Joey. Number 6 here from the Addams Family. Who didn't love Uncle Fester? Right? For those of you old enough to know who Uncle Fester was, there was old school Uncle Fester, and then in the movies it was Christopher Lloyd, right?
Oh, that's right.
Uncle Fester in the movies.
I think old school Uncle Fester was the better Uncle Fester, though.
Yes, he was. He's kind of had a little goofiness to him there. There was a little too much Doc Brown in the Uncle Fester of the movies.
Yeah, I agree. Something about the Uncle Fester from the show was I think that really might be what he looks like and acts like. I don't know. That's just always how I felt.
Kind of cuddly and lovable.
Go ahead.
You got number 5.
I got. All right, so I got to go all the way back to South Park. For the South Park movie, I don't know, probably 20 years ago, from the movie Terrence and Phillip, Asses of Fire, Uncle Fucker is number 5.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
You know, I mean, we try not to drop the F-bomb here on the show, Ryan.
But how could we not?
But, you know, considering you're still looking a little Belushi-esque for me here, I'm going to let you get away with that one there. Because number 4 you came up with, too, before I did. And I love that call, too. Go for it.
Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, the guy who can throw the football over them mountains over there. And, you know, I meant to bring a football so I could throw it while we were doing this, and I forgot it. But Uncle Rico was one of the more ridiculous characters in any movie, really, over the last 20 years, of just how friggin' funny and just stupid that he was. So Uncle Rico is an easy number 4 for me.
Easy number 4 as well. Number 3, I love this one, too. Jerry, it's Uncle Leo.
Always loud, always yelling, always inappropriate. Uncle Leo, definitely. You know, Seinfeld had so many just great side characters on top of the main 4, and he was really, really one of the funnier ones.
And a shout out to our friend Lior Rabe from Rotoballer, who is at Uncle Leo
nice.
on Twitter, and he's also a great fantasy guy. As well. Great analyst, great dude all around. Real Talk Raf's brother, Lior.
Oh, really?
Yep. Great guy. All right, number 2, love number 2. It's Uncle Buck. I mean, come on. John Candy as Uncle Buck, an absolute classic. Here's a quarter. Why don't you go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off your face? Like, I mean, that whole exchange with the principal, everything about him. You should have seen the toast. I couldn't get it through the door. Right? When he celebrates the kid's birthday. Macaulay Culkin. That was back when Macaulay Culkin was cute and enjoyable.
Absolutely, yeah. That was the one with the pancake that he flipped with the snow shovel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the only movie I was ever asked to leave when I was a kid. That was a little route. Yeah, I'm not going to say I was like a bad kid or anything to try to lie, but yeah, we like spilled popcorn and we were being kind of rowdy.
You were asked to leave, not that you asked to leave.
Oh,
you got thrown out of the movie theaters seeing Uncle Buck.
I did, yes. So, yeah. I was flipping some popcorn like off my arm, and the usher came down. He was a little heavy, and the guy next to me was like, "That guy looks like Uncle Buck," and he threw like 4 of us out for it, even though, so that was the only time I was thrown out of the movies. And my mother went like full Beverly Goldberg on the movie theater, and I got like free passes to another one. But yeah, that was the one movie I was asked to leave.
See, right now what I want is full screen of that, you know, that meme of just that kid on picture day who's like, like, really? You got thrown out of Uncle Buck.
It's not my proudest moment. And not my
I wouldn't be proud of that either. I mean, listen, I was kind of a pain in the ass teenager too, but dude, Uncle Buck, that's like, you know.
I wasn't a pain in the ass teenager. I don't know what happened that day.
I can forgive you as long as you let us know who the number 1 uncle is on our top 10 list.
The number 1 uncle, 4th of July weekend, The Hat, America, Uncle Sam. I mean, what else could it be? Maybe if we did this at another time, but 4th of July weekend, Uncle Sam has to be number 1.
Uncle Sam does have to be number 1. Think about this, though. You could have done that, the hat, as like the reveal, and you wouldn't have had to have spent this entire time sweating balls in that hat on your head right now.
I'm sweating a little bit, and plus it's kind of like teetering on my head, so I've tried to stay still the whole time so it doesn't fall off.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. We're going to let, J-Lo over here go through her costume change, and when we do, we're coming back with none other than Gary Haddow from Fighting Chance Fantasy, SFB 9 champion, next. Oh, Gary, you showed up to the host's party in the same dress. What is that?
I had to go with a Louis Vuitton, and I heard that you really like it, so I thought I would do the same thing.
Damn, I love it. We were actually making fun of Ryan last week because we had Scott Fish on, and he was wearing a Scott Fish shirt. You know, like wearing the band's shirt to the show that you're at.
Yeah. I mean, Scott was also wearing a Scott Fish shirt. I mean,
he's Scott Fish.
Yeah, he's allowed. That's like wearing a shirt with your face on it. I mean, I don't know.
If I was Led Zeppelin, I would wear Led Zeppelin shirts all the time.
I won't say anything bad about Scott Fish. He's a wonderful man and gave us a spot to give away. And the guy we gave it to has agreed with me on Twitter about everything since we gave it to him. So
there you go.
Good job, Scott Fish.
Good job, Scott Fish. So Gary, man, how are you, man? How you been? And tell me what's going on over at Fighting Chance these days.
Oh, it's great, man. Things are going well. I got our pod, Lightning Round Fantasy. I mean, we Brian Drake with the Fantasy Hustle with he and Dwayne McFarland. We got a whole new crew of people coming in. You know, our dearly beloved leader has, you know, left and gone to better, greener pastures and whatnot. But no, it's good. We're just ramping up. We got a lot of content coming out. We're starting like a whole roundtable discussion series, get everybody involved and, you know, just start picking people's brains. Draft season is upon us. I always feel like Scott Fish is like the beginning of the official draft season.
So you mentioned a couple people and the podcast, but you failed to mention who you do the podcast with. So I'm going to give you a chance to do that again.
Thank you.
not forget Kevin. Not forget Kevin this time.
Of course not. So with Kevin Tompkins, Andrew Cooper, and myself, we have Lightning Round podcast, just talking about fantasy football. The intent is to try and do some shorter content and whatnot. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but we're right now going through divisional breakdowns. Bringing on a guest each time that we do a new division, and it's awesome. I've been podcasting with Kevin for about 2 years now, and yeah, he and I are simpatico.
It's nice when you can kind of make it a little bit concise and it's not all big and lengthy. Like I always, you know, I always want to be that jackass on Twitter when somebody's like, I just dropped 7,200 words on why Curtis Samuel is the most underrated receiver in football, and I always want to be like the guy who, like, you know, just quote tweets it and says something like, you could have said it in 500, right? Yeah. Just left it at that. Like sometimes less isn't, you know, less is more. You get to the point, you get to more facts. You keep it concise, you can do more things with that. So I dig that, man. I definitely do.
Yeah. I mean, the intent is to try and get, you know, there's so much content out there constantly. So a lot of people just want their quick hits, and you know, we're really trying to emphasize like the YouTube even more so than the pods. And then as we get closer to the season, having a lot of short content, especially for those that they're not like us, they don't live and breathe 365 fantasy football, and they just need to get quick updates on what's happened in the, you know, the off season and going into draft season.
So as we hit the 4th of July here, Gary, you know, the most American of all holidays, want to say a quick congratulations to you, who just recently became an American citizen. So congratulations to you. Welcome to the party. And
what were you?
So I was born in England. I consider myself Scottish, a self-hating Englishman. But yeah, Monday became an American citizen. It kind of, I knew I had an interview, but wasn't really expecting all of it to finish right there and then. And of course, my wife is out of town. So we got to celebrate the proper way by myself doing nothing.
Did they ask you any fantasy football questions in the interview?
They did not. I tried to bring it up and they quickly shut it down. But I was like, is this
playing fantasy football?
PPR, Julio Jones, or Corey Davis?
They knew who I was. So immediately they were like, oh, we got to ask this guy about fantasy.
You picked a hell of a time to become an American citizen. The country is at its all-time best right now.
Oh, so, amazing.
Well, welcome to the party.
Oof. Yeah. Oh, hey, we'll pass on the political commentary, please, for the love of anything else. Let's talk about beautiful, wonderful things like that moment of elation when you realize you just won the Scott Fish Bowl, not the week, not your playoff matchup. The Scott Fish Bowl. Like, give me that moment for you.
And it literally is a moment. I was losing, like going into it, everything hinged on the final game, week 17 game, Packers, Vikings. I stopped watching because Aaron Jones was terrible in the first quarter, and he was like my workhorse, at least for that round. And it literally was, I think, with like less than 4 minutes left, the guy that I was playing against, I won't say his name, just somebody else had started congratulating him on Twitter, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. Then all of a sudden Aaron Jones ripped off a run. I got 5 extra points for that bonus, and all of a sudden I was a Scott Fish Bowl winner. And I mean, no big deal no big deal.
No
But
big deal, right there.
got my belt here and everything. Got my trophy right behind me. So it honestly, I mean, it's one of the craziest things in the world because Scott Fish, for anybody that's listened to the CBS, the ESPN, the Fantasy Alarm, like all the different places, like people talk about Scott Fish on their pods, and all of a sudden it was my first year in it. Ryan and I had just started. He just allowed me to join Fighting Chance at the time, and there we go, man. Beginner's luck, I guess.
Not at all. I remember you text me, and then like I saw the videos on Twitter. It was pretty amazing. So tell me, when the belt and the trophy came, how unimpressed was your wife?
She was impressed.
No, she wasn't.
The belt's kind of heavy, and so she was like, man, like she was like, well, what the hell are we gonna do with this? Like, how are we gonna mount this? So we have a very special place for it.
The back of the closet.
Swear on here.
Yeah, you can swear on here.
So pretty much we have it like we have a shelf right in front of our toilet, and so we put it there. So when you're taking a shit, you can be like, yeah, I'm the shit. But I've downed many a beer, especially because it just happened to be that that was the playoffs where the Niners went all the way to the Super Bowl, and we'll just say they won the Super Bowl minus the last 10 minutes, and I've drank many a beer out of the Scott Fish Bowl trophy now.
Nice.
Fantastic, man. That is awesome. I speaking of beer. Well, first of all, are you drinking with us here?
Of course.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Cheers.
I like the fact that it's disguised in a giant thermos that some 1970s construction worker brought to work in his lunch pail.
I may have let him know ahead of time that that was encouraged.
No, that's only you, Ryan. It's only you. Right? Like you have to use the red Solo cup, Ryan, because everybody's supposed to think that you're drinking, but you're banned. So
the 2021 draft only happens once in your life.
I gotta get off probation for that soon. I gotta get off probation.
It's not on the YouTube page. Don't worry. So Gary, Ryan's telling me about because like most fantasy football nerds, you happen to be a beer aficionado as well. What are you consuming right now? Please tell me it's like something simple like a Heineken.
No, I hate Heineken.
Of course you do. God, tell me about this 9% double barrel IPA that I wouldn't even remotely touch.
It's a tangerine sour mash from Blue Owl, which is a local beer. Have that, and then I randomly have this like Clown Shoes. They're not a brewery; they're just a distributor, but they make their own. So you can't. Anyway, they have a thing called Bubble Farm IPA, and it just happens to be this IPA that they discontinued, and I can't find it anywhere at any beer stores or anything except for my local HEB, which is like a Safeway or Vons or Kroger's or whatever the hell you guys have in your areas. So Wegmans, I guess, if you're in New York. It's like insane that they just randomly have it at this local store, but all the beer stores are like, I don't know, it's discontinued, we can't get it. So stocked up on that with the wife in Vegas, and it's hard being a single parent with a 4-year-old for a week.
Dude, you know what? I get that when my wife travels and I have to deal with. We don't have any human children, thankfully.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants my gene pool spreading around anyway. But with the dogs, man, it's crazy. They're like 3 dogs and 3 cats, and you got to feed them and walk them and do everything like that. And I'm like a single mom here all of a sudden, man. I have to wash and dry. Not good.
Yeah. Dogs, you got to feed them. Howard Bender.
Dogs, you got to feed them, or they'll eat you because you're starving them to death.
I'm more scared of my cats eating me. I feel like a cat looks at you and you just know in its head, it's like, I want to lick the skin off of your face, and not because I love you.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Looking at you like when you're when you're watching a cartoon and the dog is looking at the cat and all of a sudden the cat becomes like a steak.
Yeah.
Right? That's how my cats look at me. They're just like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm looking at you. It's delicious. Anyway, so all right, tangerine sour here from a local brew pub, Blue Owl, you said?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. how many times have you had to send Blue Owl beer to members of your beer fantasy league that Ryan was telling me about?
So it's my third year, and I sent beer the first year. Not last year, but the second year, so 2019, which was the culmination of all of my fantasy football dreams. I ended up, I was the runner-up, so I got a whole bunch of beer sent to me. So that was just magnanimous after the Scott Fishbowl win, and I was able to drink that during the Super Bowl and drown my sorrows. And then last year, I was able to get some beer sent to me. So at this point, we started as a 12-team league, and I have now, my buddy, shout out Dustin Hoagie, we are at 36 teams. We do a 3 individual drafts, and each week you play a triple header in your league or in your conference against the other 2 conferences also. So it's pain in the ass setting it up with them. With MFL, but it's pretty damn fun. And I actually made a trade with Ryan and sent him Daniel Jones. It's super flex. Sent him Daniel Jones and something else, and was able to get David Montgomery back right when Monty went off last year, and was able to carry me into the semis.
So needless to say, I sent beer. And did you know, Howard, you can't mail beer? I did not know. I never tried to mail beer.
How did you find out?
I went to the post office and they're like, is there any liquid perishable or anything like that? You know, they asked me at the post office. I was like, yeah, it's beer. She's like, you can't mail beer. I'm like, what? So I had to walk out of the post office and then go to another town the next day to where someone else asked me the same question. I was more prepared for the question the next day. So you can't mail beer anybody out there.
Yeah. So it's a federal offense that Ryan admitted to in the post office.
Yeah. Right. So how did you get the beer to him, Ryan?
Well, I went to another town where I used to live, and I knew the postmaster was this old weirdo that I knew I could just lie to him, and he didn't even ask me. So it just went.
Oh. You send jams or you send salsas. It's the easiest way to tell people.
But I did not know.
Jams and salsas. There it is.
My wife likes to make salsa.
So, Gary, so talk to me here. Fishbowl this year. The whole kicker thing, I'm not going to bother you with that old talk unless you have a stance on it that you would like to share. I'm kind of just sitting there wondering, what is, as somebody who's won this before and knows what it takes, what's something that you're targeting this year? And, I'm not saying you have to give players names. I mean, more of strategy wise, what is something that you're focusing on heading into this draft next week?
So Dak Prescott, I think Dak will finish as a QB1 on the year. I think he's a screaming value at QB6, regardless of what people are worried about the ankle. Other than that, I mean, you just try to find guys that you think are going to be either a value or hit. I think Stephon Diggs is probably, I put him as the highest odds to be wide receiver 1, which there's a whole group there, but I really like him. Honestly, the number one thing for me is it's such a big format, ADP, be damned. Take your guys, reach for your guys, make your stacks, get that kicker in round 3 if for some reason you think that's the way to go. I was just listening.
You don't really think that though, do you?
No. I actually want to. So I just tweeted to Linda. She had posted some stuff about kickers and their comps on a points per game basis. And I've always said I'm going to punt on kickers this year. I have no interest in it. But it started to make some pretty damn good points that, there's a dead zone there in round 11, 12, 13 where you don't really know who to take. And that even if you waited, if you missed a pick, you would still probably get the same guy that you were thinking about because everybody's all over the place taking their shots. So it's solid to think there could be a kicker going in that range. I want to pretend that you don't know what's going to happen with a kicker and you can get 0 points, but we've seen Tyreek Hill go 3 for 8 in a week. So it's just, it's terrifying no matter what. It's fantasy football. We have no clue what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah. I saw a tweet. It was from her. It was Harrison Butker outscored McCole Hardman. And I was like, well, I don't know if anyone was really counting on McCole Hardman. But when you do get into the later rounds, you are just throwing darts at some guys who might not score so many points. And kickers, as they are really hard to predict, there is a certain number of them that you can count on a decent floor of, 6-7 points a week. So I think there is some value to kickers in this format, but I can't see thinking about them until the double-digit rounds.
Yeah, and see, that's the camp that I'm in as well. It's like, okay, if I'm deciding whether or not this guy who's listed as RB5 on his team's depth chart,
Yeah,
or Mason Crosby, who's going to kick for the Packers every single week, right? It's like, at what point does that value actually matter? And that's kind of where I am too. And I could see those later rounds where, I mean, the benches are deep enough that you can grab one or two instead of, like the high, the super deep speculation kind of thing. So
I completely agree. And the ups and downs of it, I'd much rather have somebody that has really high highs and I'm not as worried about their lows, just because eventually, you're playing against 11 other teams for the first 13 weeks. After that, like the first round of playoffs, like you're playing, I think it's a field of like 50 or 60 that you're playing against. You have to advance the top like 20, and then it just keeps going. Like the fact that in the finals, and this was 2 years ago when we were still at 1,200, I believe, the finals was me versus 19 teams. Like there's no championship anywhere outside of mega best ball championships where you're playing against that many teams and vying for one spot. And really, like if you get second place, like that's great and all, but like there's not really a second place in Scott Fish. Like I know who got second place, Tommy, but that's because there was a very particular dynamic. I have zero clue who got third place. Never, like, no clue whatsoever. So
I don't know who won last year, to be honest. I know as a fan, but I don't.
Right?
I don't even know who won last year. So
thinking about that today.
Yeah.
Like I talk to Stompy all the time, but
oh yeah, Stompy. He won 8. But I think another cool thing, it's like being president. Like for the rest of your life, they have to call you President Blank. So for the rest of your life, you have to be Scott Fishbowl champion Gary Haddow.
Yeah, it's definitely even like every time we do the podcast with Kevin, like the intro is like Kevin Tompkins and Scott Fishbowl 9, winner Gary Haddow, and like it's just super surreal. Like I remember when I was first getting into fantasy, like listening to like Matthew Berry, and then from there I went to like Jimmy Eisenberg and the CBS guys, and like they would talk about the Scott Fishbowl, and then to like the most surreal moment of that, and yet somehow my video that I posted got like a good amount of views. My wife's video somehow got far more views, like 10 times the amount of mine from that night. So she'd like to steal my thunder anytime she can.
There you go. That's the price you pay for being married, Gary. I mean, come on.
Right. You gotta keep her off of Twitter. She's like Justin Mason's wife light. She hasn't quite got the the full range of trolling you, but she's in training. She knows how to do it. She's just not committed enough. I try every time I can.
See, there you go. That's the league you want to put together, like the league of trolls, right? So you get Danielle, Gary's wife. We get Rick Piacenti, Jen's father.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Now we just start finding like wives, girlfriends, husbands, fathers, mothers who like to just kind of give their kids shit on the air. We've seen it all over the place. So League of Trolls, we'll think about that. Gary, what we love to do here with all of our guests, we always like to play a little game, just have a little fun with it. So in honor of you now being an American citizen and celebrating your first official 4th of July as an American, well, there's nothing more American than having yourself a good old barbecue on the 4th of July. So we're cooking up some hot takes here for fantasy football. And here's the question to you. Is this hot take bold enough that you want to baste ribs in it and give us some thought and analysis, or just so bad you just got to throw it in the trash and we just move on?
Okay.
All right. I'll give you the first one here. This is kind of like maybe like a little bit of a layup here, but very curious to see which way it goes. Ryan and I will alternate back and forth. Play a little tennis here with you, Gary.
Tit for tat, as the kids say.
Slap and tickle.
Hello.
Now you're talking our language.
Gary, Kyle Pitts will outscore 2 of the 3 big tight ends. And I'm talking about Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. Kyle Pitts can outscore at least 2 of those 3.
Oh,
Is that
no,
bold
I got it.
or trash?
It is so bold. It's not going to happen. It is so bold. So yeah, I think I'm throwing that one in the trash. There's a world in which Kittle, just because we're trying to see a transition potentially there, but ultimately, I don't see that happening. I thought you might include Andrews in that, and if you did, like I can see Kyle Pitts outperforming him. I think that Waller has a good chance to be tight end one. Kelsey, has a better chance, and then Kittle, who knows, man. You break a record one year, the next year you're a little banged up as the entire team is, and I don't want to see Pitts ahead of Kittle. Something's gone wrong if that's the case, or something went incredibly right down there in Hotlanta, but I don't see that happening. So
all right, so you're throwing that in the trash, is what you're
in the
me.
trash.
All right. My first one is going to be Jameis Winston is named starter of the Saints, and he throws at least 30 touchdown passes.
Does that also include 30 interceptions?
It very well might. That is up for you to decide. But the 30 touchdowns.
No, I'm fully basting the ribs in that. He's going to throw 30 touchdowns. I would venture that he's going to get closer to 40, and that I do not, the interceptions aren't going to be there. The man had LASIK. Now he can see the crab legs. He knows what's going on. So with that, if you believe in Adam Troutman, most likely you already believe in Michael Thomas, Kamara, and honestly, I think like Traquan is going to have I don't care what people say. There's a little bit of a renaissance there. He's going to throw more of the deep ball, and it's just weird. Like little Jordan Humphrey and Deontay Harris, I think it is. There's pieces there. And granted, we've never seen him without Breeze for the most part, but I think Jameis runs away with it, and they'll just sprinkle in Taysom Hill. I still think Taysom Hill is worth a late dart throw in a lot of leagues, just in case something happens to Jameis. We know what Taysom can do, but yeah, I think that Winston's going to be a value. I mean, we've seen it year after year. He's always underappreciated for what he can do, even if that doesn't include what he somehow thinks he can do, but he ends up throwing an interception for.
Lil Jordan Humphrey happens to be my favorite of just all football names out there. I don't care what he does.
All names.
Right?
If you have an apostrophe in your name, you're winning.
Just be on my rosters because he's Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah. I wish he was I wish Mo Alley Cox was actually named like Little Alley Cox or something like that. Just as Gigantor.
All right, here we go, Gary. Number 2, Javonte Williams will be the RB1 in Denver come week 1.
Week 1 is tough.
Bold enough to baste, or you throw it?
I'm going to baste it. I'm basting it. I think I've always thought that Melvin Gordon was nowhere near as good as we thought he was. His yards per carry has always been lower than it should be for what he is and just his body size. Yeah, he has good hands and whatnot, but Javonte Williams, I mean, Najee Harris is amazing, but Javonte was a close second for me, and then there was a drop-off, and that includes ATN as part of that drop. I'm excited to see what they can do. Would it shock you if Melvin Gordon, for some reason, wasn't on that team come week 1? It would be surprising, but it wouldn't shock me.
Neither.
You mentioned Travis Etienne. That brings me into my second one. And this is a guy who's people are kind of just forgetting. James Robinson finishes among the top 10 fantasy running backs this year. Basting it or throwing the trash.
James Robinson is a top 10 this year? No, I'm throwing that in the trash. I don't trust that offense. I'm more concerned about Urban Meyer than I am about the players on that team. You don't bring in Tim Tebow if you're a sane person. Saying that Trevor Lawrence has still got a long way to go. Like, the hell are you doing, man? Just build this guy up. Like, Minshew isn't going to be doing a magic show anytime soon. Literally, he might just be doing magic in the locker room. Like, there's nothing else. I think Travis Etienne is good. He's solid at what he does. If you're thinking that you're about to do Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, you're sorely mistaken.
All right, last one for me. Here you go. Ezekiel Elliott will be the number 1 fantasy running back in 2021.
Let's do it. Totally basting it. I got 5 guys that I think will be the number one, and that's CMC, Dalvin, Henry, Zeke, and Aaron Jones. I would put those guys as the number ones, and I'm intentionally leaving off Alvin Kamara and Barkley, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, I think that, again, I said that I think that Dak's going to be QB1. I think that offense is going to explode. You're going to have 3 1,000-yard receivers, and Zeke is going to be back to being his prime. Tony Pollard is a little nerve-wracking no matter what, just to get to it's a RB1, but I'm all in for it. So Andrew Cooper, hopefully you're watching. You've been in my ear for long enough that I am now. I'm hoping that in Scott Fish, I'm hoping that Jones or Zeke gets back to me in the 2.
I gotta be honest. You know what I've seen enough of is that GIF of Zeke eating the cereal. Like, it's so friggin' gross. It's just milk.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That one's gotta go. But anyway, I kind of agree with you. All right, so my last one. This one is a little close to home for Howard and I. So Tua outscores Sam Darnold this year. You basing that or throwing it in the trash?
Throw it in the trash. I'm not a Tua stan. I don't like Tua. I've never liked him. I've just wrote about it.
Liked him. He's been
Gary, my new favorite fantasy analyst, not named Ryan Hallam.
Don't see it. It just his depth of target last year. Like, I don't care if he had drops on some of his deeper balls, even if they didn't have that great of an offense. Like, you had Devontae Parker coming in that seemed to have finally ascended. Mike Gesicki. Sam Darnold is going to get to come, and he's going to have Joe Brady, right? He's going to have Robbie Anderson, who's one of the best draft values in the NFL right now.
That sells. Cut him off, please.
Plus, he has DJ and Terrace Marshall and CMC. No, man. Miami built a Ferrari, but they put a Ford Pinto engine in it.
Wow. I am texting Teresa right now and telling her to stay in Las Vegas.
Your boys got crazy.
He's another year away from the hip injury. They bring in his college teammate Jalen Waddle. They're all playing better for Brian Flores. Gesicki gets his head out of his ass.
Dude's playing scared.
Dude's
playing scared.
Now, it was his first year in the league last year, man. He's taking a big step forward this year. Tua is my man.
Real players don't play scared.
Dolphins would have made the playoffs if they never made the switch. I trust Brian Flores. I think he's fantastic. What they have done down there is amazing. I'm hoping for a Dolphin-esque resurgence in the Jets under Robert Saleh. It's probably not going to happen because Brian Flores, man, that dude knows what he's doing. But that decision was mind-boggling because they could have been a damn good team in the playoffs if they had Fitzpatrick the entire time.
I will agree with you there. I will
agree with you on that one as well. And as a Jets fan, I appreciate your hope and optimistic thoughts here about the worst franchise in the history of the NFL.
It's because we love our former defensive coordinators, not because he likes the Jets.
And our former passing game coordinator.
That's true.
Hey, man.
But hey, Texans are coming here and saying, move over, Jets. You guys go right off into the sunset as a real NFL team.
Thank you. We appreciate that, Houston.
Yeah. We got Jack Easterby.
You've done it long enough.
Oh, Jack Easterby. God damn. Speaking of show me on the doll where it touched. What? Oh. Gary, absolutely fantastic having you here, man. Really appreciate it. Again, for everybody out there, tell them where they can find you all over social media and on the interwebs.
Yeah. My Twitter handle is Haddow27, HADDOW27. Check out the Lightning Round Fantasy Football Podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast can be found. And then check out the content on fightingchancefantasy.com. Ryan's the godfather of that site. And it's good. We like it. I don't really write for it. I'll be perfectly honest. I like to do my podcasting. I wrote too much in school. I'm done with it. So I'd rather just talk it out. So yeah, check it all out. And also follow my co-host, Kevin Tompkins, K Tompkins II, and Koopa Fiasco, Andrew Cooper, sorry. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to interact with you guys maybe on there sometime soon.
Would absolutely love it. And Gary, again, once again, your taste in t-shirts, first rate, baby. First rate.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you in the Scott Fish Bowl, champ. We appreciate you gracing us here and sharing a little bit of insight, which basically was stop with the ADP. Just take who you fucking want. That's it.
Just do it. Live your
Just
life
do
by
it.
your own rules, man. It's going to be fun. And get in your damn your division chats and have fun. Talk to people. That's what it's all about. Network.
And
There
give
it
to
is.
charity.
And charity. Networking and charity. Both of those.
Thanks,
right,
guys.
well, Gary, thanks so much, man. You take care and best of luck to you in the drafts next week.
Thank you. You guys have a happy 4th.
You too.
USA. USA. All right. Bye, guys.
And we're clear. Thanks, Gary.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's always nerve-wracking, never knowing what you can and can't say on these things. But when you reference Jack Easterby, touch the doll here. I feel like I'm among my people.
I said, show me where the doll touched it when we were doing our top 10 uncles. I was talking about Uncle Ernie from Tommy. One of my favorites, right?
That's amazing.
And
didn't everybody play the Secret Touch Me Feel Me game with their uncle? Come on, I can't be the only one.
And I get drunk and it gets taken off the air. What It was funny. I was talking to him before Howard. He's like, "Was it really that bad?" I'm like, "Dude, it was really bad."
It was bad.
Amazing. I love it.
I didn't even know they took it down until I went looking at the episodes. I'm like, "Where's the?" Oh yeah, okay. All right, we gotta go to our last call here. So, Gary, we'll say goodnight and much love, brother. Thank you again for being here.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the follow, Howard.
Peace. And again, big thanks to Gary for hanging out here with me and Ryan. Now,
last call.
There's that sound.
Last call.
That's what it means. Here we go. Last call. So usually last call I reserve for some sort of rant, some animosity towards something in the sporting world that's just gone completely wrong. Today's last call, I'm actually going to toast. So raise your cup there, Ryan. Want to give a shout out to my main man, Andy Spiteri, who is fighting the toughest fight of all. And I just, Andy, if you're watching, just want you to know how much I'm thinking about you, how much I love you as a brother. And I'll tell you what, we were just talking about it with Gary, networking and talking to people and stuff like that. I met Andy Spiteri through fantasy baseball, through the mock draft army. And yeah, man, I just love him so much and love the fact that he and I connected. So I'm giving him a big old shout out and a cheers. I wish I had my fantasy alarm glass here. I think it's still in the house that his daughter Donna made for us. So in any event, much love, Andy. Cheers to you, brother.
Absolutely, man. I was lucky enough to get to know him from Fantasy Alarm. Me and Andy have connected several times. The hell of a nice guy, one of the best. I know he's a good family man, and everyone out there is rooting for you, hoping for you, praying for you, man. I know you still got this. Keep it going, and we're all thinking about you, Andy.
All right. That's going to do it for us here on Getting Buzz. Big thanks to all of you guys for watching, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. FantasyAlarm.com, the YouTube page. Go check it all out. The draft guide, FantasyAlarm.com. Again, instead of rolling credits here, what we should do is just keep rolling all of the URLs that you guys need to do to get the NFL package and all the other fun stuff here. It's at this point right now where we're going to put the 4th of July offers again. Yeah, there it is. All right. And wishing all of you guys a very happy 4th of July. For Ryan Hallam, I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next time.